Photos were Lucy's thing. Not so much being in them, but taking them, collecting them, looking back on them. Her phone constantly complained about maxed out storage, and she had albums crammed with printed pictures of Adam and the girls. Every social event, every holiday, she'd be reaching for her phone. Not to post the snaps on social media or perfect them with filters, but just to lock in the moments. Adam teased her about it, as did their best friends Cora and Scott. But Lucy didn't care. It made her happy. And if she was honest, so did their teasing. So that was why, when a colleague started showing off her honeymoon pictures at an otherwise mundane work party, Lucy gravitated towards her. She didn't know it would change her life, would be the difference between seeing and not seeing, knowing and not knowing. She was just drawn in by the blue skies flashing across her colleague's phone. The small group that had gathered around Ruth shuffled to make room, and Lucy drew up a seat. She loved wedding and holiday snaps in particular, even those of people she didn't know well. She associated them with joy and sunshine, food and wine, all her favourite things. Easily pleased, Cora would laugh, when Lucy got excited about cherry ice cream on the beach or her favourite Malbec on offer in Sainsbury's. Lucy would stick out her tongue. "We can't all find inner peace through yoga and meditation, Cor. Some of us get it from snacks and booze and box sets," and try to persuade her friend to treat herself too. Now she stared at her colleagues' pictures of creamy white sands and shimmering lagoons and felt a familiar longing for good times, new memories, new photos in her own phone. Sometimes it was as if she couldn't get enough, was trying to max out her life as well as her iCloud. "It looks absolutely amazing, Ruth," she said with feeling. Ruth taught history, and Lucy had always thought of her as ultra-serious, unlike herself, the drama teacher, with the infamously loud laugh. But seeing her in the Maldives, with her new husband, glowing and relaxed, cast her in a different light. Lucy nudged her plastic chair a little closer. She wasn't sure why these work gatherings always took place in a classroom, the buffet laid out on the scuffed desks, and everybody milling awkwardly. But then, if she was honest, the only socializing she truly enjoyed these days were the evenings and weekends that she and Adam spent with Cora, Scott, and the kids. She felt a yearning whenever she was in anybody else's company, like she wasn't exactly where she belonged. Her mind had started drifting, planning their next joint movie night, what film, what theme, what food, when she saw an image in her colleague's hand that tugged her sharply back. "Hang on, Ruth," Lucy said. "Could you flick back to the previous picture?" Ruth looked surprised but pleased, especially as others had started to lose interest and were chatting amongst themselves. "Oh, we met this other lovely couple one night while we were there." She swiped back and thrust the phone towards Lucy. The picture seemed to come slowly into focus, everything else receding. For a weird moment, Lucy felt as if she could have taken it herself. She'd captured Scott and Cora in that exact pose many times, arms round each other, heads angled together. At parties, at their vow renewal ceremony, outside the shared Norfolk holiday cottage on the day they'd all picked up the keys. Except this picture, dated only 5 days ago, wasn't of them. It was Scott on the right, with his rumpled auburn hair and photogenic features. He wore a green linen shirt, with the top 3 buttons undone, and was smiling beneath 70s-style sunglasses, even though the photo had clearly been taken at night, on what looked like a restaurant terrace jutting out over a black sea. But the woman by his side was not Cora. It was someone Lucy had never seen before, her dark eyes shining in an aura of candlelight. Her hair was dark too, curly and wild, whereas Cora's was ash blonde and poker straight, usually tied in a high bun. This woman looked slightly older than both Cora and Scott, her face beautiful, but very much lived in, her shoulders hinting at a much sturdier frame than Cora's petite, yoga-honed body. Lucy could feel Ruth frowning at her in confusion. Her heart was pounding, and it took her a while to speak. "A couple," she said. "Are you sure?" "Oh, yes. They even gave Martin and me a run for our money in the smoochiness stakes," Ruth said. "We joked about that when we got chatting to them. We only saw them the once, though, which was odd, given that it was a tiny island. And a shame, too, because they were great fun." "How?" Lucy's head felt thick. "What were their names?" "Jason and Anna," Ruth reeled off with pride. "An interesting pair. Pretty drunk that night, but then so were we." She laughed to herself, as if at some remembered in-joke, then swiped onwards, reeling through more palm trees and lapping waves, while Lucy sat back in her chair with bile rising in her throat.